Okay, I'm back. So many calls. Hate it. It's so hard to do recording and getting distracted like this. It's what I gotta do. All right. So, anyways, I'll take the other tool. Let's try sticking that and see if we can pop that up. Come on. Come on, pop it open. Or is it? Oh, okay, it popped out. All right. So now that we got those, hopefully I can grab this and rip the whole thing out. So I'm going to show you, this is why I got this bag here. All right. So I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera because I'm going to knock everything over. But what I do is I put this whole thing in the bag, like this, okay? You get the idea. And then what I do is I grab this, and while it's in the bag, I just rip it out. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can do this on camera, but we'll see. Okay, nope, I won't be able to show this on camera. So I'm gonna just rip this thing. So just pull this up, okay, just like that. So here you can see those popped out, and then I just rip the whole thing apart. And that way all the rivets, if they come out, they land in the bag and not go flying all over my work area. Okay. Okay, just like this. Just like that. Okay, some people, they don't care and they just let them fly everywhere. Sometimes you can reuse the keyboard keys too, so yeah, but I'm going to just rip the whole thing out now. If it's not in camera, I'm sorry, but I'm doing it the way that makes it easier for me. Okay. Such a pain to rip this out. There's some sharp bits in there. I'm going to be bleeding all over this computer. Okay. Do this. This is what Apple makes people do. Okay. And this is why Apple just sends all their stuff over to like China to be repaired, and they don't let people in their stores repair them. So I'm gonna hold it so that the rivets are all facing downwards so they don't all end up in the keyboard when I rip them out. Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna be doing this off camera. I'll do that and I'll be back. Well, I guess if you guys want to hear it, you can listen, but let's go. Let go. Some of them get stuck pretty bad. Oh, wait, did they actually use screws on this one? Okay. They actually have 2 screws, but only right down there. So if you're going to have to remove those, I believe those are PH0 or PH00. Yeah, it works with the JIS0. So I'll remove those 2 screws. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see if we got all of that. Alright, I'm going to continue ripping out this keyboard now. I know it's off camera, but we're just going to have to deal with it. There we go. Almost done. Also, this takes quite a bit of force to remove. Okay, so got it out. Make sure you shake out all the rivets from the computer. You don't want to get them all inside anything. Okay, I need to clean off the thing. I need some rubbing alcohol to sanitize this. Rubbing alcohol, it's burning me. Alright, clean this stuff up. It's all dirty here. Okay, looks good. So, I don't know if you can see, but most of the rivets, they ended up like getting just torn off. So, that's what I was talking about. It makes it difficult. You can't really put screws to hold it in place. So you have to end up using like what do you call? I use JB Weld. Okay, so I'm gonna brush all this junk out, and then I'm gonna put the new keyboard, or the replacement keyboard, in. Oh, this one got a little bit damaged here. Alright, I'm gonna try and clean this off. So I'm just using a toothbrush and scrubbing in between all the keys to try and get any loose junk out. Okay. Okay, for the most part, that's good. And I'm probably gonna need a band-aid now. Okay, anyways, we got that. That's good. I'm gonna show you what the keyboard looks like after. So here's the destroyed, ripped out keyboard. So sometimes you can reuse some of these keys, so I like to just save them in a little box. I got a whole bunch of these broken keyboards, and sometimes you can reuse the broken keys or the missing keys. Alright, so I'm just going to set it aside. I'm trying to just curl it back so it's not completely curled up and make it more flat. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside. And the bag, the reason why I use that, let's see here. Can I? Yeah. Okay, I need another napkin here first. Give me a second. Okay. Sanitize stuff. Okay. Set that aside. Alright, so we got that. So the reason I use the bag is so I can kind of like shake it up. Get all the rivets in one place. Okay. Like this. Then if you shake it all, if you shake it all down to one side, what you can do after that is you can kind of grab just where all the bits are, and then you can see all the little rivets and stuff will collect into this. So that's usually why I do that, but this is just because I didn't want them all over my work area. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take the replacement keyboard, put it in place. Let's see, why does this one have a thing blocking it? Alright. Let's see here. I'm going to just clean up the keyboard so that I can put it through. Oh, okay, that's just plastic, so that's fine. Alright, so what you do, you line up the new keyboard. Make sure you don't smash the microphone cable under there. Okay, you want to slide the bottom in first, that, and then get it all lined up. Drop it in place. Since these rivets are there, they kind of will hold it in place. Let me see if I can push that plastic out of the way, so when I push this one down, it will be okay. I don't know why there's some plastic sticking out on here. Maybe I should cut that first. Yep, I'm going to cut that piece off real quick. Okay, just cut off that little excess plastic that was sticking out. Just going to put this in here, just like that. Get it all lined up. Since we have those two screws, I'm going to put those two screws back in. Okay, there's one here. So they only put two screws right next to where the cable goes. Alright, so grab that And then put that screw in as well. Sorry, I know my head's probably getting in the way. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to line up the whole keyboard. Oh, there's some plastic over this side too, so I'm gonna cut that out as well. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of off-camera work being done. All right. Let's see, is there anything else I need to do? All right, so got that. This one actually came out cleanly. Let's see if I can put the screws in those holes. They provided screws, but one time I tried and they never hold in properly. So usually what I have to do is use cut up pieces of credit card to hold the keyboard to the shell. And then I do that. I use that to keep it in place while I put the thread, not the thread locker, the Loctite. Or, sorry, the JB Weld. Okay, so I'm going to try and put the screw in that little hole, but I don't know if it's going to actually work. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, oh, it's actually working. Okay, there we go. So that screw held. So I'm going to try and line all of these up. I want to make sure that any little holes go, or these raised bits go through. Okay. Looks like it's holding well. Alright, so now I'm going to put the screws wherever the rivets came out completely. I can put in the screws. So that one I can't do anything with. Why is there a random hole in this one? It's not doing anything. Okay, so I'm going to put a screw up here. Okay, this works. And then what I'll do is I'll get the JB Weld and put it in the rest of the spots. Okay, so now this is going to be a very boring video of me just putting in a million of these tiny screws. There's about 70 or so of them, but because so many of the things just broke off, I can't put those screws anyways, so just put them where I can. Okay, it's also a good idea to look at the other side to see how it looks before you completely do everything. Okay, let's flip it over. Looks good. Alright, so as you can see, like some of these, they don't push all the way through. So that's where I have to use the, what do you call? That's where I use the broken or cut up credit cards to hold it in place. And I need to line this up because this isn't going in. Hopefully I can get it to go over properly. Doesn't want to line up right. This is a little bit tough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to loosen these screws. And then I'm going to try and get all those things lined up right. The corners are the most important, if you can get the corners in first. Sorry, I'm undoing everything now, so hopefully. Okay, let's see. So these screws came with it, so I'm just going to take these out and put those separate. Sorry, I know I'm going out of view. Alright, so let's try and lift this up and see if I can get it to go properly. Oh, all of that's lined up, just this one corner's being weird. Okay, there we go. That one's in now. Right, try and get all of these little broken rivets lined up. I put the corners in first already, so they're good. Alright, I don't know why there's a random blank one there. Okay, now to put back the screws. Okay, so I'm still going to add the JB Weld even though I have these screws. to the spots where basically it didn't go properly. So you get the idea. Just put back all the screws. Okay. Put the screws where the rivets are. If you don't have the screws, you can also reuse the rivets that didn't break. A lot of times I'll reuse those, and then I'll just push them back down using a flat, like the smaller flathead screw. Not flathead, but like one that's like this kind of shape. I can use that to push down the rivets. But since I have these screws, I'm going to use the screws. And the screws are also better because the rivets, usually if you use those, then you can't use the computer right away. You want to leave the keyboard sitting overnight. Okay, let's get some more of those screws. You want to be careful with the screws because if they get caught in stuff, they're really difficult to get out because they're so small. Okay. All sticking to all my screwdriver bits and everything. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and continue putting all these screws in. So this is going to be a very boring part. If you want, you can fast forward over. Yeah. Or if you're just following along, you can leave it playing in the background as you do what you do. Alright. Okay, so these screws are so annoying. Okay. I wonder how they machine these screws so small. It's pretty crazy. Alright. Hopefully you're enjoying this boring, tedious video. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to be like more than 3 hours, I think. Probably cut out enough of it so it'll be a little bit shorter, but we'll see. Okay, at least most of the function keys look like I can put the screws in. Just continue putting all these screws in. I'd have to be careful because all my other screws are all over there, so if I push it too far I might knock all those screws around. Okay, I mean you get the idea. Just put in a million screws. Alright, let's see. Got one down here. If I'm lucky, they might be spaced enough that I don't have to use the credit card bits to hold it in place. We'll see. Looks like they're spaced pretty nicely. Okay, I think I'm running out. So let's see, did I fill up all the spots? The problem is this whole bottom corner doesn't have any screws. The rest are all filled. One down there. Okay, so I am going to have to use a lot of JB Weld to do this. That's all of the screws that I can put in now. Alright, so now I'm going to flip it over and check it. Looks like those are all the screws I can put back. Okay, so we'll set this down. So we'll look at the other side and see what it looks like. Okay. Oops, I'm dropping all my stuff on the ground. Oh jeez, they spill out all the screws. Alright, so I'm going to gather back up the screws and put them back in the bag. Okay. Hopefully I didn't drop a bunch of stuff everywhere. Okay, so we got that. So what I'm going to do is I like to check and see where the board kind of flexes a little bit when you push on it, and then that's kind of how you know where you need to put like the, what do you call, oops, that doesn't look good. Okay, yeah, that one's definitely gonna need it. So what I do is I get little pieces of cut up credit card. Let me see if I can show this. I have to take all these things out. I don't think I need that many, but we'll just use those. Okay, so basically if you see these keys, they're like sunken in. So what I do is I push the key up, and then I try and get underneath. What I do, here we go. So much junk. Alright, so what I do is I take a needle or something thin just to get underneath the key like this, and then kind of pry it up. And then while I'm prying it up, I will put like this chopped up credit card piece in there. Okay, if you can, it's good to try and get it underneath two keys at once, like in between. Oops. I don't know why this key's like semi-twisted. It's kind of strange. Oh, I see. It popped out. So I'm going to have to fix that key. Okay, let's fix this key on the keyboard first because it looks like it's popping up. So to fix that, I just get a needle underneath and then slide it there. The top part's okay. So here you can see how the key is. So what I do is I just get the thing under there, function key. Okay, you can kind of put it at an angle like that. But right now I have to clip this in. So like that. Lift up the key. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. Oh, that thing's popping up on its own, but just like that. And that will basically hold that piece in place. And then you just continue going along, pushing from the bottom. And wherever you see the keyboard is kind of moving a lot, that's where you know that you have to put those pieces. So right here. So it looks like this one for the most part is good. I only need to put it in 2 spots. So I'll get one more. And we'll stick it between these 2. Okay. Just like this. Lift this up. Oops, there we go. Slide that underneath. And there. Okay, so now we see when I push on it, it doesn't really move anywhere. I might put some on the return key here, because that one's a little bit not as good as I'd like. It's about the same. It'll be solid once I put the JB Weld underneath. And then this one looks like it's moving a tiny bit, so I'll put one more, I guess. Okay. Lift it up. Right. What did I do with the needle? Oh, here we go. This is a pretty tedious process. So most people would probably opt for just replacing the whole palm rest. But if you want to save your money and you have time, then you can attempt this, okay? Lift it up, come on. Go, get underneath. Oh no, I made it go out of this one. So you kind of want to put it at an angle, so that way you can get it underneath both keys at the same time. What is it getting caught on? Okay, just like that. Go. There we go. Alright, I think everything else is good. Alright, so now we're going to add the JB Weld where we want it to stay. Finish with all those little plastic bits. Okay. Alright, so now what you want is some JB Weld. I use this little tray. Some random screws here. Okay. So what I do is I take JB Weld. There we go. I'm going to move this so you can see a little bit. And then you just mix equal parts. There's quite a few little holes that I need to fill. The hardest part is kind of just judging how much you need. So I just usually put a little bit extra, more than I think I need. And hopefully it will be enough for the entire keyboard that's missing the little screws or bits, okay? So I just squeeze out some like this. Just like that. Put that there. That might be too much, but we'll see, okay? Just like that. Alright, I have to clean off and use another toothpick so I don't solidify the opening of it, okay? I use the other end just like this. Okay, and just like that, I think that's about equal. All right, close it up. Okay. Set that aside. Okay, so once you get the equal amounts of JB Weld, I use something else to stir it up and also to put it into the screw or the rivet holes. Okay, just stir it up like this. Oops, sorry. Make sure you mix it all together really well. You don't want to see streaks of black or white in it. Okay. And make sure you get all the stuff off the bottom of it as well. Okay. I use this clear container because I can look at the bottom and see if it's not stirring in right. And then I can do that. Okay. Alright, so this doesn't need crazy strength because the motherboard and stuff will be on top as well, helping hold it down. But if you don't put this and then you just leave the keyboard loose, when you push on it, the keys will sink in and then it can be a problem. So try and get it to be as solid as possible. Okay, so you just get a little bit, and then wherever you see you're missing the rivets, I'm probably going to have to put one on that corner just to be safe. Okay, so I'm actually going to put, let's see if I can. This is the arrow key, so I don't know if it will. I'm going to try and get one of those pieces of plastic and just shove it under there to hold it up. Okay, just like that. Underneath and there. Okay, so that should hopefully hold it up. Alright, so I'm going to turn it this way so it's closer to me so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so just get a little bit, and then, oh, I need to hold that side down as well. Shoot, thought I got that, I guess not. This side, the corner with the power button, that's also pretty important. Sorry, I need a smaller piece, these are too big. Okay, so get that little piece underneath there and lift it up, just like that. Let's see, I might have to turn it the other way because it's gonna, there we go. So normally I would leave this overnight before giving it back to the customer, but the customer seemed to want it back today, so we'll see what happens because this has to kind of sit. Okay, so get that, put the little epoxy there. Alright, and then just go, you want it to kind of go on that little post that's sticking up and then a little bit outside as well. Okay. Just like that. Just so that it holds that little bolt in and it doesn't move around. And don't worry if it's a little bit messy because the little backlight cover will cover it up. The only thing you don't want is for it to go into the holes where the actual keys are, so you don't want it to go in there. If you get it in there, then you're going to be kind of screwed because then the button's not going to work. So be careful not to get it in there. And if my head goes in the way, I'm sorry, but I'm doing what I can. But you get the idea. Just do the same thing on yours. Or do it the easy way and replace the whole palm rest assembly. Because this is the way that, like, if you want to torture yourself. Okay, so just go along the entire keyboard. Make sure all those little bits are filled up. Okay. Yep, I made way too much of this epoxy, but it's okay. Just fill up all these little holes. It's better to have a little bit too much than having not enough, and then you have to keep like stopping and mixing up more. Can also use like the faster hardening stuff, but then you have to do this real quick, or you have to do like a few and then wait. And the other problem is the faster hardening stuff doesn't hold as strong, so I prefer using this stuff. And this stuff you can actually rip it all out again, just like the rivets, so if you need to change the keyboard again, you can just rip it all out. It's kind of nice. Alright, just keep going all along. Fill up all those little holes. Stripped a little into the key, that would have been bad. Okay. It might actually be a good amount that I made. If you have a tiny bit mounded up, don't worry about it. The keyboard backlight thing will smush it down, but you don't want too much or it will spread out and then go into the keys, okay? That will be bad. Getting there. Okay, I made a decent amount, pretty close to how much I needed. Not too much excess. Okay, this is very tiring and tedious work. So you have to kind of be somewhat precise. You can't just do a sloppy job with this. Almost done. Oh, I think I finished. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna look over it closely. See if I need to add any. Clean it up. Sorry, it's gonna be off camera because I need this really close to my face to see what's going on. Okay, I'm just checking each one, making sure that they're filled decent levels. Okay, I think that should be good. So there we go. Filled them all with that. We only got a little bit left. It's not too much. It's quite a bit, but not too much. That's probably enough if I didn't have any of the screws at all. Alright, so what I do after that, I just wipe this stuff up because I can't do anything with it. It'll dry too fast before I need it. So I just clean off the screwdriver like this that I used to do it. This is actually a junk screwdriver that I use only for this, so I actually filled the screwdriver bit, with the epoxy, if you can even see that. Okay, then I just take the napkin and wipe this off. I mean, I have a bajillion of these, so I don't need to reuse it, but I just do anyways. Okay. Alright, so clean that all off. There we go. And I just store those tools in this tray like that and reuse them later. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is put back the backlight stuff. Okay, so it goes this way. Got this, and then this goes that way, right? I like to check the old keyboard to see how it goes. So it goes like that. It wraps on top of the backlight, and then this curls backwards and then goes up like that. So what we do is get this back in place. You do want to coil these slightly up because they do go along the wall of the thing. Okay, so I need to peel that up again. Okay, we'll slide this over there. And then you line up these big little circles, or the big circles, with the things that are sticking up in the keyboard. Just like that, and like that, like that, and then here we go, just like that. So now that you got all these little screw holes lined up, you can kind of push it down. Okay, this one will curl over this way. You want to kind of get this thing back underneath that screw hole. All the plastic, you kind of want to push it down and into the edge, just like how it was before. Just use my fingernail for that. Like that. Curve that back down. The adhesive most likely won't stick again, but just to have it curving down to where it was helps a lot. Just like this. Okay. And that's going to do that weird stuff, so we'll just leave it like that. Put this tape down on top. Hold that in place. This cable's not as flat as the old one was. But, yep, just get it somewhat in place. And push that down. What is that? Get the crumbs out if there's crumbs stuck under. Okay. I don't trust those sharp crumbs. They can sometimes damage the cable. Okay, just like that. And then curl that back over, I guess. Okay. Put that underneath. And just go along. Curl this all over there. Okay, almost done. So we got all of that back in place. Now we got to put all the pieces back in. So got that in. Make sure this is out of the way. Let's see how they did that. So they kind of basically folded it flat. So I'm going to peel this off. Come on. I want it peeled off. Okay, Be careful not to damage the cable. We've gone this far. We don't want to screw it up now. Okay. So I don't know why they have that. The other ones don't have that tab, right? Oh, it does. Okay. All right. So fold that over. Kind of want it flush with the rest of it. Just like that. Okay. And then this cable just goes over like that. All right. I don't know why they have this tab down here. It's not doing anything. It's on the wrong spot. There we go. So I peeled that off. Okay, and then this tab should kind of go up here, so I can use that as a, oops. So I can use it as a pull tab to pull the cable in place. Just like that. All right. Here we go. So we're going to leave that there now. All right, now grab the logic board. Make sure that this is out of the way. Spin a little bit. Oh, not the logic board, sorry. We need to put these back first. So put this one back in. This goes over that little screw mount thing that's raised. And then snap that in place. This one, same thing, but it has the little screw. I'm going to switch back to the T5. Alright, get that lined up. I think I missed the mark. Oh no, that's right. Okay, here we go. Get that all lined up. Perfect. All right, now the logic board. Put that in. You have to do it at an angle like this. Okay, make sure the charge port goes in the right place. Make sure you're not smashing the microphone cable or the backlight, keyboard backlight cable. All right, again, go on an angle. You want to check and make sure that the headphone jack lines up. That's the most important part. Slot it in, slowly drop it down. Make sure the microphone again, or the backlight cable again, is on top. Okay, we got the keyboard cable up here. There we go. Again, the most important one is the microphone cable. And also make sure these little spring-loaded pieces here go underneath as well. Okay, so we got that. Everything looks lined up well. Okay, so next we are going to put this board back in. It goes at an angle like that. Oh, my bad. We need to put the speakers in first. Let's take this back out. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Lift it back up at an angle. Wiggle it out. Make sure that comes out. Okay. Sorry about that. Speakers have to go first. Set this broken keyboard aside. Alright, speaker first here. Have to put it in at an angle like this. Okay, and this one also at an angle like that. Right, we're going to put in the screws. I can actually put all the screws in. So usually I put the screw in loosely first, so that way I can make sure all the screws line up. Okay, just like this. Once you got all three in, you can tighten it down. Sorry, I know it's going off camera. You get the idea. Tighten in the speaker screws here. Okay, grab the other one. If you're replacing just the speakers, you don't have to actually take out the battery. So keep that in mind. Okay, there we go. Make sure all the screws are tightened in place. Okay, all right, now I think we can put the logic board back in. All right, again, at that angle, make sure the speaker cables are on top as well. Since now we have the speakers in, you want to make sure. Okay, the speaker cable, make sure it goes on top. And the backlight cable, make sure it goes on top. That, drop it down. Okay, the speaker cable, this part goes underneath. If you want, you can attach the speaker now. Okay, just like that. Attach that one. Okay, again, make sure everything is lined up. You got the spring pieces underneath the metal Headphone jack is lined up. Charging port is lined up. Okay. Now we'll put back this side piece. So I like to attach this first if I can. Sometimes it makes it harder to put into the slot, so you might not actually be able to do this. Let me see if I can. All right, we'll put the latch over. Put it at an angle like this. Okay, it works. And then again, you want these spring-loaded parts to go underneath. And then slide that into place. This metal piece will be a little bit tricky, but just move it around. There we go. Okay, we got all of that. All right, so let's see here. First, we're gonna need to, is that right, or am I mixing stuff up? Okay, so first we're gonna take this screw, put this one in the top corner up here. Make sure that you're holding it lined up flush to the wall of this. Okay, I'll get this screw, that one in as well. All right, the silver screw goes up here on the heat sink. All right, you can take this fan and slot it in. Okay, get the connector in first, just like that. All right, push the latch down, line it up. All right, so now we got the other screws we need to put. That screw. Again, I put them loosely at first just to make sure it doesn't move around and everything is lined up. The bigger wide screw for the fan here. Okay, that's the one that we repaired. Okay, now we're going to put this cable back on. Okay, make sure you get it lined up before pressing down. You can tell because when you move it around, it kind of stays in place. Right, just like that. Put this little cover on top. Put it loosely at first just to get everything lined up. Then you can tighten it down, all right? Okay, this looks a little dusty, so I'm gonna brush it off. Just to get the little dusty things out of the way. There we go. All right, so we got this screw that goes underneath the SSD. All right, now we can put the SSD back in. I like to push on both sides so that way you don't shove the connector off the board. Sometimes these solder joints are pretty weak and you can actually rip the connector off the board. Right, tighten that down. All right, so we got this connector. What was that for? I forget. Okay, oh, that's for the trackpad. All right, and we'll put this little metal piece back on top. Okay, loosely at first again. That. Okay, let's see. Now we got the wireless card. We can put down also the keyboard backlight. Again, make sure you get it lined up before pressing it down. You don't want to damage these connectors. There we go. Then the longer screws go towards the back, so we'll put that one in. The other long screw towards the back here. Okay, we got those for the trackpad. Let's see here. Let's put back this fan. Make sure the latch is up. Connector in. Come on. Here we go. Get it all the way in. Push the latch down. Fan in place. Okay, we'll take the two screws for the charge port. I like to use the charger to hold it in place. I have this little adapter, but you can use your charger to do it. Make sure your charger's not plugged into the wall when you do this. Okay, and then I just pull on the charger to make sure that it keeps it flush to the casing. Okay. Oops. Okay, just like that. Alright, now I'll take that out. Okay, now we'll put back this silver screw that holds the heatsink down. Oops. That, put the rubber piece on top. Right, get the fan screws. It's basically mirrored of the other fan. Okay, they have the big wide fat screw on this side, just like the other one. Right, now tighten it down while I'm holding it against the heatsink. There we go. Alright, we got two more. Okay, we got this screw and then we got the battery screws. So put this one here. Put the wireless card in. Again, I like to squeeze the connector with the wireless card. Okay, just like that. We're almost done. Got that. Alright, you can put this one back down because nothing goes underneath it. This rubber piece helps the airflow, so when the case is on top, it only flows out this way. Okay, I'm going to try and put the keyboard connector back in now. Uh-oh, it's a little bit aligned weird. It's going to be tough. I might have to do it off camera because it's hard to see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm trying to twist the cable to go the right way. Here we go. Oops. It's so hard to do this because the cable's so new, it keeps trying to lift itself back up. Come on, stay in there. There we go. Latch down, and there you go. Make sure that the pins are all hidden underneath. Okay, that plastic there. Okay, so now we need the battery, the trackpad, and the screen. So I'm going to put the screen back first. Okay, let me grab the LCD. Be careful. Again, these screens are super expensive, so you want to be very careful with it. The screen itself, I think, is like close to... Oops, I popped out the little things that were holding the keys in place. Looks like they're holding okay, so shouldn't be an issue, but I'm going to try and put those back in. Well, we'll put the screen first, and then I'll worry about those. Okay, make sure that the hinge things are up. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see better. Okay, make sure the cables all end up on top, just like this. Okay, what I like to do is first I'll get the T8, and then I'll put the middle screw first, but not too tight, just enough that it doesn't wobble around too much. Alright, we'll get the second one. Same thing. Middle screw, not too tight. Once you get that, you can actually close the screen, but do it slowly and gently. I'm actually going to put back the pieces that fell out first, because now when I close the screen, it will kind of hold it in place. So let's put that back in. I think it was the power button and the little arrow keys. Hopefully it will hold. It's not too bad. Come on. It doesn't want to go underneath. There we go. Oh, it came back out. Okay. the rest looks okay. Kind of just want to make sure that the keys are up and not like sinking in. I think it was the enter key that was being a little bit sunken, so we're gonna put that in. Oops. Alright. And when I put the screen down, it should hold them all in place. Just like that. Okay. And then what I do after I got that, I'll loosen the screw a little bit. This one I'll actually take out all the way because I need to align it all. So let's put back the wireless antenna and the eyesight or the webcam cable. Okay, so just slide the cable in like that, and then I use the screwdriver to kind of walk it in, going left, right, okay. Oh, why is it not going in properly? There we go. Okay, just walk it in, just like that. Alright, then you can get the wireless antennas, line them up, make sure it's flush. If you rub your finger over the top, it should stay in place. That's how you know that it's lined up properly. It's a little bit tricky to put these back in. Come on. This doesn't want to line up right. Here we go. Okay, last one. Okay, just like that. Get the antennas back in the slot. Get the webcam eyesight cable back in the slot. You have to go underneath this little corner metal piece, make sure, because if you don't do that and then you smash it, you can damage those cables. Okay, just like that. There we go. Now what I do is I line up the corners with my fingers like this, kind of on both sides, okay? Just to make sure that it's flush. Okay, then I get the thread locker stuff. Alright, since it's all lined up now, I'm just going to put the thread locker. I mean, if you watch my other videos, you've seen this before. I just put a little on there. I'm not going to show the putting thread locker on each one in camera because I have to hold it over the laptop, which is kind of risky, so I'm doing it off to the side. Okay, just like that. Tighten it down. Okay, tighten it down. Alright, grab the other screw here. Same thing, add the thread locker. Tighten the screws down. Go. Okay. Alright. There we go. Did I take this one out and put the thread locker? Oh, I probably did, but well, I took it back out now, so okay, it should be okay. Put this back in. Alright, grab the thread locker again. Same thing, add a little. Tighten it down. Excuse me. Alright, now we're done with the T8. So we're going to switch back to the T5 screwdriver. Put that aside. Okay, get these little brackets. Uh-oh, someone's texting me right now. So just drop it in. Might be using the wrong one. Yep, that's the wrong one. Make sure, oh, is that the wrong one or is that the right one? No, that's the right one. Okay, make sure you put these on the right sides. You want the screw towards the outside and the little hook part towards the center of the MacBook, the hinge, okay? Okay, get that in place, line it up, put the screw in. Okay, grab the other one, same thing. Drop it in. All lined up. And tighten that down. There we go. Get this all lined up. Push that adhesive down. Alright, now we're going to flip this back over. Put these little rubber pieces back on. They're supposed to help prevent the screws from spinning around, but I put thread locker, so those rubber pieces are supposed to have adhesive to hold 2 of the screws. Alright, so we're going to plug the LCD or LVDS cable back in, just like that. Okay, put the latch back down, rubber piece back on top. Okay, now we have to put the battery back, so I'm going to put some double stick adhesive on here just so it doesn't move around too much. I'm going to actually, let's see if I can peel this stuff off easily, or is it going to be a pain? Somewhat of a pain. So maybe I'll even, I'll peel off most of it. No, it's going to be a pain. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll get this adhesive stuff, double stick adhesive. There's an acrylic double stick adhesive. It holds really strong, so if somebody has to take this out again, it's going to be kind of a pain, but put that there. Okay. There. This will just prevent the battery from rattling around too much, because you don't want the battery just loose inside rattling around. Okay, this one I'm going to cut in half, because this area is more thin that it's going to be in. Okay. Oops. Put it like that. Oh, I put too much then. I'll put some there, and I'll put some this way. Uh-oh. Okay, I can't peel it off. Oh, it came away from the thing. Peel it up. Let go. Go. Okay, so I'll put this like that. Sticking to my finger. Okay. So I'm going to peel all this stuff off. Need it too. Oh no, I stuck it to the wrong side of that thing. Okay. Okay. Same thing, we're going to cut it in half and put 2 pieces. So I'll put one here, here. Okay, there we go. So that should hold the battery really strong. piece of boy. Alright, let's peel these off. Just like that. Come here. Oops. Peel the wrong piece. There we go. That will just keep it from rattling around inside. There's the battery pack. You want to be careful not to bend the wires all over the place. Okay, so we'll put the battery pack in like this. Drop it back in place. Make sure the screw things line up. Uh-oh. Okay, get the screw. I'm going to put it loosely first just to make sure I can line up the battery packs. Like that. Okay, perfect. Tighten that down. Tighten down the other side. Alright, then you can kind of push these down on top. It should hold itself. Yep, they don't rattle around. Alright, last piece. Trackpad cable here. Oops, sorry. Trackpad cable. Get that lined up. Push that in. Put the latch down. That down. Peel up this piece. Get it out of the way. Okay. And push this in. There we go. Put that down. Put this little piece back on top. That. There we go. That's pretty much all there is to this. Put this battery connector back in. Grab the cover. Make sure you plugged everything in. Okay, both speakers. Yep. Alright, everything looks good. We'll put the cover back on. Click it back down. Switch back to the Pentalobe P5 or 1.2. And we'll put back all these screws, okay? And that's pretty much all there is to this. Basically, complete disassembly minus the trackpad. Hopefully this video helps you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find these videos. This is one of the more difficult MacBook repairs. There's some where people have to replace the speakers, so this video would help with that. But yeah, this is one of the more difficult ones. So again, hopefully it helped. Like and subscribe. Share this video with other people that have the same model. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another one. You can stay for the last few screws, but that's pretty much it. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.